Snack bag, check. Backpack, check. Tunes, check. Let's go on an adventure. Before we get started, I would like to give a very special thank you to all of my patrons. As I'm sure some of you know, I experienced many setbacks last year due to illness and a surprise surgery. But what does that have to do with any of this? Well, I promised myself while I was recovering that I would plan something I could look forward to, kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel type of thing. At the time, though, I wasn't allowed to fly, so I looked for places I could drive to and settled on a fun nature experience. I did reconsider going since, well, let's be real, no one was available to go with me, and I would be driving by myself through the South. And yes, I have unfortunately had experiences before. However, I kind of felt like I would be letting myself down if I didn't go, so I went. My adventure started off great because obviously I had great music to listen to, and it wasn't too long of a drive ish, just a lot of open road. By the way, totally traveling incognito because I have glasses on. So, because I didn't say so before, I will just say it now. I decided to go to Congaree National Park in South Carolina. I actually really like nature, and exploring all the national parks, at least in the US, is a bucket list goal of mine. I even have one of those fun little stamp books because give me something to collect and I will do it. I think sometimes with the way life be lifin', you know, getting away and just listening to the nature sounds with nothing to worry about was probably really what I needed. I know it's not for everyone, but I do hope you enjoyed the nature sounds just the same. Every park is different, but if you want to know about this park, let me tell you. There's this lovely boardwalk trail, which is like basically a giant circle with high and low spots, and it's surrounded by a lot of trees. Again, I know nature is not for everyone, but for me, it was pretty relaxing. There is this really cool spot that overlooks the river, and throughout the trail, there are various numbers, little markings, if you will, that mark significant spots that are a part of the park's history. Sadly, part of the trail was underwater, which does happen in the lower parts of the trail sometimes. And yes, the park volunteer did tell us it was likely to be flooded, but he still recommended walking up to that point and then coming back and turning around just so we could still experience and see the trail. Now, I should say there are various other trails if you are more into the traditional hiking experience. There's also a really cool firefly trail that I absolutely know nothing about, so I'm just assuming it's cool because it sounds cool. I didn't get to experience it. It's only at certain times of the year. Obviously, fireflies are not around all the time, but I hear it's very popular and let's be real, just sounds cool. Overall, just a very relaxing and fun experience that I am honestly really glad to have convinced myself to go and do, even if it was ultimately just to knock it off my bucket list. Oh, and yes, I totally traveled with my travel flamingo. His name is Mingo Jones. You're welcome.